Good evening. I hope you all are doing amazing this long weekend. It is day 42 of my 90-day challenge, and I sabotage myself again. So this has been a rough week so far, but definitely looking forward to just getting a nice reset here and start week number 7. So what did I sabotage myself on? Well, I will just say the power of marketing or Pavlov law, I guess. Let's just say that I definitely was in a situation where I'm just looking at this restaurant, waiting for my wife to finish her physio. Right, so I'm like looking across the street, and what's in my peripheral or what's in my view is A&W restaurant, right? So yeah, it was. I don't know. For some reason, all of a sudden, I was just craving for onion rings out of all the food that you can get at A&W burgers or root beer, protein, buddy burger, matzo burger. I all of a sudden just craved the onion rings for some reason. So obviously their onion rings are, you probably won't see it. Like Burger King don't even come close to those onion rings. Maybe only Red Robins, but oh my goodness, there's not a lot of Red Robins left anymore. So obviously, yeah, A&W. And then you guys know that feeling where you is it Pavlov's? I think that's what my follower Kuya Fighting has said, or Pavlon, Pablo, I think. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, just getting triggered like that, right? And you guys know that knowing well, that's what I was saying. Part of the questions of observing your inner dialogue. So definitely, knowing, expecting what I'm gonna get out of it, and knowing the taste, the texture, right? That hit me even before even ordering it. So as soon as my wife got back from her appointment, I'm just like, batting my eyelash. Can we go to A&W? That's I don't know. I just want some onion rings, right? So she agreed, right? And obviously she's just like, well, is it your cheat day? I'm like, yeah, the whole week was my pretty much the whole week was my cheat day, right? So yeah, definitely wanting to get back to things tomorrow, right? So yeah, I mean, obviously for her, we gotta have those coupons. So we did 2 for 1, 2 can dine. So we did get the matzo burger combo. We gave the other that one half to my youngest son, and then yeah, we just shared the onion rings together. Probably would have switched the buns, burger buns, to the lettuce. You can do that with the at A&W, right? So didn't think about it at the time, but I think the combination of both the breading from the onion rings and then the hamburger buns from the matzo burger. Yeah, I don't know. I just started feeling the effect. Like if you guys ever done the keto diet, right? That especially now the introduction with carbs back into your system, are you gonna feel that little getting into that little headspace, right? So that's what I was feeling right away, right? And it was just, and I was thinking, like I said, I was thinking, okay, it shouldn't affect me too much. I've been having carbs here and there for week number 6, especially Monday, having needing food right away because just did the blood work on Monday, and then I was just feeling a little bit lightheaded, so we had to get some food in. Wasn't going to make it back home for to just have my prep meals, right? Then we ordered something an extra for my eldest son, but that's the thing, he didn't eat his bowl of soup, so I had to me and my wife split that up and ate that bowl of pho on Tuesday. Then yeah, it was my son's eldest son's birthday, and you guys know, if you guys been following the channel, you guys know the situation there. So he didn't touch any of the food that we prepped and ordered. He didn't touch his cake, didn't touch his birthday gifts. So we obviously they want to waste food, so which is already not a good excuse, but so yeah, we ended up finishing that. So hence, sugars and carb load in that. And then then obviously, what did we do on so yeah, kind of carried over for Thursday too. So leftovers on Thursday from the birthday food, right? And Friday, Saturday, I don't know, I was just in feeling, I guess, those foods just kind of altered my state. Before, it's like I just wasn't craving anything and whatnot, right? But I guess, those things started hitting me again. So I was craving my instant noodles, and that's definitely something that I'm wanting to change for this challenge, is just, phasing out the noodles. So unfortunately, I had a bowl before I went to bed on Friday. I had another bowl before yesterday, right? So already started feeling that a little bit the effect, right? And then yeah, today I just after my walk, I waited for my wife. After my walk, I obviously walked past A&W, and then I guess probably smelled something, and then yeah, I was just like, I don't know, craving the onion rings for some reason. So yeah, I just felt it right away. We went to Costco right after our meal there at A&W. And then yeah, I was just like, this is not good, right? So I did made it home. We got home at 1, just before 1, and then my stream is at 4. And yeah, I went to bed right away. I was just feeling so out of it. Just imagine, being just done by just, oh man, just 2 burger buns and the flour on the onion rings, right? So it's crazy stuff. So, and once again, just empty carbs, right? So not even a great source of food too, right? So, and I did eat too, right? Just imagine, right? The strong triggers that are there, even having eaten breakfast, my veggies and proteins, it was just still being triggered, right? So yeah, just trying to clean that up, right? And for these next few weeks, that's going to be the case, as this kind of the peak of the spring mode. And once again, I'm going to be changing the words. Usually we call seasons, but it gets confused. It gets confused with the actual seasons that we are in. So I'm just going to call it modes. So like our bodies have spring, winter, fall, right? Summer modes, right? So just we can switch and modes, flip the switch. But obviously we need to train the body, just like if you're getting into keto, right? You need to train the body how to burn on fat, right? Obviously carbs are short chain triglycerides, so they're the fastest. They will be prioritized. They're the fastest fuel the body can use. At the same time, they're in limited, right? You can only store a limited amount. The rest, then are we are overfed and undernourished. So with the carbohydrates, so a lot of that gets converted into fat, right? And stuff that the body can't use or can't store gets transferred into fat storage. And then obviously if you keep adding carbohydrates, you'll never touch those fat storages, right? It's always going to prioritize the short chain triglycerides, right? So it's very important that you eat to your limits when it comes to carbs, or track that one, so that you can also at the same time burn your fat storage. So that's why we're also doing this season, right? So these are the parts where we're building up the walls now, right? So we did our cleanse for the first 5 weeks. We built our foundation, and hopefully a strong foundation for us to start now chipping away at our fat storage. And that's why we're triggering the spring mode, right? We're coming out of the winter, right? And we trying to tell the body that we don't need to ration our storage, right? By triggering it with the sweetness of food, right? So once again, it's really up to us to stay true to the next few weeks. There's not going to be a lot of changes, right? That's happening. And it's just once again, today was even good at the scale, but that's just try to make my peace with that this week has been a little bit off. So just gonna get back on track again, this starting tomorrow. Tomorrow is go time with week number 7, so we're carrying on with the same plan for week 6. Just we're removing fruits or sweet tasting vegetables as well, right? For week 6 and week 7, and probably leading into the next few weeks, right? So there's not going to be a lot of changes here on out. This is kind of the key component, a nice one that triggers that. Winter season is the keto diet, but then once again, it is a seasonal thing, right? We're not supposed, it's hard of a lifestyle to keep doing, right? But it is kind of part of it. But we don't recommend people staying in one season for far too long. So that's why a lot of, especially for myself, I went as long as almost 2 years, and it wasn't perfect, because our species craves social togetherness, right? And that sometimes includes hanging out and eating, right? And touch as well. So it wasn't perfect, but I stayed true to the ketogenic diet for almost 2 years. Just kind of fell off there once I got injured on August of 2020, and just got into a crazy mindset and just went back to emotional eating. So I was able to do the ketogenic diet for 2 years, ran a marathon with it, right? Just felt great, no soreness, just that flow state, right? It was super amazing. But obviously a hard enough lifestyle to pursue, unless once again, it's very important to have that raise your environment, so that you have those around you that understands, and pick places to eat that is ketogenic. And obviously it's definitely you're working on willpower, which is a limited resource, to just keep fighting. And even though not a lot of people are on the same lifestyle that you're doing, right? And once again, diet has been, changed by the, losing weight industry. Diet is, the way of life in the context of what we should be eating, not the way that, we should be losing weight, right? So that the meaning of the diet has been altered and changed in a way that we need to lose weight, to count calories, to restrict, right? Instead of, the meaning of it, of the way of life, right? A lot of, once again, creatures have their way of meeting their needs, and then obviously telling a herbivore to start eating meat. They don't have the digestive enzymes to process that, and at the same time, for us, we're able to eat a lot of things, but at the same time, eating processed food, is we don't have the enzymes to, or our body to use a lot of these empty calories, so it just gets stored into us with fat, and isolated, right? So definitely, once again, it's just very important to make sure that your calories are nutrition and not empty calories that our body can't use, so that it helps a lot in a way that you feel full and satiated, and your search for food is no longer constant, right? Because you're giving your body what it really needs, its own diet, its own way of life to survive on, right? And that's the thing, we are living in a modern world, and we are stuck in one season, right? And if we're not staying on top of things, obviously we're always stuck in a season of gaining, storing for a season that, even though we have our winter season every year, depending where you are, we don't hunt for food, we don't cut wood to stay warm, right? We don't do a lot of those movements anymore. All we do is, probably when it comes to real winter, we probably just turn on the heater, put on some clothes, right? Change our tire to winter tires, and that's how we deal with the winter season, right? Nice if you are able to shovel your driveway, but we have a lot with cost of living. People are moving towards high rises and whatnot, and that someone does that, right? Someone are townhouses, our homeowners association take care of that stuff. The building maintenance take care of that stuff, right? So yeah, our ability to move has been have been lessened, and now we have food delivered to us. So our walk through the front door, instead of walking to the restaurants and whatnot, or to gather our food, forage for our food, right? Hunt for our food, has greatly diminished. And even then, say some tribals that are still in the old ways, they don't even eat till once they get their prey, right? So definitely, once again, that's the thing. You're locked in with the storages, the food that we're having, and that's why keto's been great for that, right? But we're not even living in that season as well, right? So, but yeah, I mean, just saying that movement's part of the thing, right? You still need to address your nutrition. You can do as much exercise you have, but if you're fueling your body with empty carbs, right? It's, how can you fuel this well-oiled machine with gunk, right? So, um, yeah, we're just gonna be living with life with, with constant symptoms and feeling sick and whatnot, and tired and fatigued. So it's definitely very important to just, do your own research and try foods that make you feel good, right? In a way of, you know, making you healthy, not feel good in a way that it tastes so good. But I am in a food coma and I need to go to bed and tired after eating, right? So yeah, I mean, like I said, it's it's not our fault. We've been marketed in a way, like I've been marketed with the taste of NW onion rings, right? But at the same time, we had to finally take responsibility for the food that we're gonna take, and we need to take responsibility in a way that we gotta get the food, nutrient dense foods in us, and stop filling our body with empty calories. Food just that. No, living in a modern era that we're overfed but undernourished, right? So it's definitely important that you know not to constantly be eating fast food, right? And got to get into the habit of prepping your own food, right? And you don't have to do it every day. Do the thing where you just um, one day in the weekend just prep, or when you have your day off, right? Prep your food for the entire week, right? If it means buying a lot of containers to do so, so be it, right? If it means blending up your healthy smoothies and turning them to ice cubes, so be it, right? Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. It's not meant to be an advertisement. Give me 1 second. Turn off this stuff. I'm still. Yeah, I woke up only like 5 minutes before my stream, and I'm just like, I can't do it. Like I'm so tired, so I slept even longer and woke up like 6 hours after the start of my stream. But yeah, that's right. Thank you, Sigareki Designs. Yeah, I haven't even touched rice this year, right? So I do have. I think my wife did prepare some. What do you call it? Breakfast sausage. So that's probably what I'm gonna be eating for the next couple of days. So we prep like um, containers of one container with vegetables, and then one container with the proteins, mixed proteins. So all I need to do is just grab a bowl, put some of the vegetables, and then put the proteins on top, and then throw it in the microwave. It's a lot faster for me, and to do that, then uh, you know break my help me break my addiction to instant noodles, because hence you still have to boil the water, right? Boil the water, and then now cook the noodles and mix it. So definitely, you got to make sure that you know gotta have things work in your favor, like out of sight, out of mind. All those stuff that that's laying on around the kitchen, that's um, empty carbs. Just gotta put an extra layer that you need to go and search for it, right? And then at the same time, um, yeah, just gotta make the process of getting food as fast, good food as fast as fast food, right? So yeah, not all veggies are good. That's why you have to experiment and find those ones that are good for you, and hence, yes, exactly. So that's why these things are. Even the potato has been removed on week number 4. Yeah, week number 4 we removed the potato, rice, pasta, and what am I? I'm missing one more. Rice, potato, pasta. I'm missing one more. It's 4 of them. Rice, white potato, pasta. We'll just say um, junk sugars, right? So, and once again, we can't really process corn, and those, once again, scary thing. Those are the heavy, things that are being created and farmed, because those are fillers, right? So I have to force myself to eat that green. And that's the thing, it takes time. Like I said, it took me time to replace rice with greens. You just have to really experiment, like, with things that that will be easy on your stomach, right? So it's not going to be like whatever. It's going to be increments, right? Until you phase off. Like for myself, like I don't even drink coffee. Starting this whole challenge, I stopped drinking. Even I'm just down to decaf coffee. I stopped doing that on week number 5, right? So I went down to decaf coffee, and it took me 2 years from going from Starbucks Frappuccino down to like black coffee. Now black coffee down to decaf. This November, I was down to decaf coffee, and now starting week number 5, like I don't have any coffee with me. So my thing there was to, most importantly, to get to deep sleep, right? Deep sleep, where our body focus on healing, right? So definitely it was very important for me to heal my body. And once again, Tuesday, my doctor is going to call me after doing my blood work last Monday. So I'm looking for, I don't know what to expect. I lost 15 pounds when I did my blood work, so I don't know what he's going to say. I did my blood work in November, but they didn't phone me, right? So, but yeah, definitely, like this week, we're still doing the carbs, right? We're doing the proteins. At this point, to being the spring mode, where now our body is waking up from hibernation. We're telling our body that, okay, food's in abundance, fat and proteins is out there. Even at the time, no vegetables are available during spring, right? So we're trying to flip that switch, tell our body to now release our fat storage, right? Because there's abundance of food. So we're still having vegetables, right? And our focus, once again, is quality, quantity, and variety, right? We're still having proteins, and it's really up to you on what protein source that you guys like. And lots of water, please. Once again, 70% of our body's made of fluids. Stay hydrated. That is a hunger that we need to continue to address. This is definitely something that we addressed on day 1 of this challenge, was to stay hydrated, right? That's gonna probably help you keep those cravings down, right? And then also, if especially you're eating a lot of proteins, staying well hydrated will help push that through, right? And obviously fiber as well, coming from the vegetables. And then also having a breathing exercise. And once again, this is very important, as this will help us reduce our stress and keep us out of that fight or flight mode. And tell the body to not store, right? We're not running from anything. right? But if the body feels that we're in that state, it's gonna hold on to our thing to escape, right? So definitely, once again, you carbs is going to be in a lot of things, but if you can control the amount of carbs that you are having, our body can only store up to a certain amount. The excess carbohydrates that we have will be converted into fat, right? And the only problem, once again, if we're overeating on carbs, we'll never get to those fat storage, right? It's always going to prioritize the short chain triglycerides through the carbohydrates, right? And if we're always keeping that topped up, right, we're never ever going to be hitting the fat storage, right? That's the order of the body uses fuel. And not saying that it's it's the best fuel, that's why it's being prioritized. It just means it's fast burning fuel, and but at the same time it has its limits, right? Heavy starch, which turns into carbs, which turns into sugars, and I am yeah, well, exactly. I got my diagnosis in April of last year, and obviously my wife, definitely my mom was sad because obviously she lost her husband. I lost my dad in 2010 at the age of, he was only 62, right? And he was bedridden for almost 10 years, right? So in his 50s, he had 2 strokes, and the diabetes just ate away at him, right? So my mom hearing that happen to me, it broke her heart, right? So definitely, that's when I needed to get things started this year, right? So we are in day 42 of this 90-day challenge. The next challenge will be starting in April, but once again, this is a beta test for this quarter, just to see it through. I did this challenge back in July and August. Lost 18 pounds, but then the school season started again, and my eldest didn't go back to school, so it just became an emotional next 4 months heading to December. So out of the 18 pounds, I was able to keep 8 pounds off, right? 10 pounds gain. So I'm building on that foundation. That's why this second challenge of mine, it's so much easier from that. So once again, we do New Year's resolutions, and it's going to be, it's, if we don't set ourselves, to the part that, okay, things happen, just get back on it, right? If we don't break it down into 90-day quarters instead of 365 days, obviously, one little failure says, oh, I tried my best, I guess next year, right? So definitely, 90 days is a perfect time to see some results. At the same time, not be overwhelmed of, okay, I have this whole year to do it, right? So those little wins do add up, right? And my win last summer helped me keep 8 pounds, and then also helped me stay off coffee, milk and dairy products. And then also at the same time, I stopped eating eggs because I get breakouts of it, right? And I love eggs a lot, but if my skin keeps breaking out, it's like, and all of a sudden my gut started feeling funny, I stopped having eggs, right? So yeah, I do like myself Dunkin' Donuts. Like I said, it's not gonna be perfect, and we're not supposed to stay in one season forever, right? Once we get to our health goals, really important, at least we have the way to get back into, turn on the spring mode where okay, that's time to release the stored stuff, right? But we need to make sure we get into 5 weeks of cleansing to get into that mode. And once again, that mode is vegetables to definitely get some of the nutritional requirements met, and then the fiber, which is going to be important, proteins, right? And it's up to you what source of proteins that you want. lots of water and breathing exercise. Very important, right? And once again, this is not, we're not counting calories here. We're not restricting any food. If we want you to eat, you're not, at the same time, if you start starving yourself, your body's going to hold on to the stuff, right? So we want to make sure the body knows that, okay, we don't need to hold on to stuff. There's food that's coming in, right? So let's process that. Let's release this stuff, and we should be, because we're living in a life. We're in the modern era where we're overfed, undernourished. We want to fix that part where we need to be nourished, right? And once we're nourished, then obviously our nutritional needs are being met, and at the same time we're not always constantly searching for food because we're lacking this, we're lacking that, right? So very important that we continue to eat, but we need to eat right. Well, let me know about this upcoming challenge. I'm interested. My auto scroll is covering the last text there. Let me put this on screen. Yeah, no worries. Once again, I'll be streaming for the next 90 days. So the end of March, I'll probably be doing a 3-day workshop, second week of March, to just introduce it a little bit more. Then April, we're gonna do another challenge. So I'll be continuing on from where I left off, but at the same time, I'm gonna help everyone who's doing week 1, week 2. There's a system in place. So once you understand the system in place, you can do it over and over again until you hit your mark. And then there's a new system in place and helping you to maintain your health gains, right? And once again, we're not supposed to be stuck in these seasons. So I keep using seasons, modes, right? For far too long. So we need to keep changing things every 5 seasons, so that same thing as exercise. You don't work the same muscle over and over again. That's why if you do see a workout plan, you're working out different groups, right? So back muscles on one day, front muscles on another day, leg muscles on another day, right? You don't work the same abs every single day, right? You give them a break, and that's why we need to move to these different modes to give certain things a break, right? We don't eat 3 hours, and once again, a lot of things is stuff that's been put onto us, right? We have to have 3 meals a day. The breakfast is the most healthy part of the day, all created by the food industry to eat their products. Instead of having eggs and bacons and sausage first thing in the morning, we're now switching over to cereals, grains. The same people who invented the saying breakfast is the most important meal of the day, right? So that's the thing. It's just, like I said, you don't need to hear from me. Just feel free to check out YouTube it and see Kellogg's having their food created in a way just to stop their saying of thinking that to stop us from, especially guys, from masturbating, right? And for them, it's the most immoral thing that someone can do. So imagine food being created for us to in a way, not for nutrition, but for spiritual or reasons, right? So pretty crazy. I've got a lot of weight to lose. I've done it before. I can do it again. It's going to take longer this time as I can be as I can be no, that's fine. Like for myself, right? And I'm sacrificing my training for running just to prove that at any physical level you can do this. So for this challenge that I'm doing this for this quarter, I'm just walking, right? And I'm doing just interval walking, right? So let me get that video and just feel free to check it out, right? It's called the uh, Japanese interval walking. So all you're doing is just every 3 minutes, you're just taking a relaxing walk and then switching into a little faster paced walk, right? And you're just doing that. You're switching between the two every 3 minutes for at least a minimum of 30 minutes. So if you can walk, then you're able to do this. It's just about just getting that body into a zone 2 where the fat burning mode is, right? But at the same time, you have those interval, you can relax on the 3 minutes, and at the same time you just gotta you're pushing your heart rate a little bit more on those fast pace, but at the same time you're in control of your walk, right? So if you can walk, you should be able to do this. Once again, this is all about we're focusing on the nutrition, which is 70% of our health. So imagine if you're having a bad nutrition, we are in the need of medication, right? If we're having good nutrition, we are no longer in the need of medication, or not having to rely too much of medications or supplements, right? So I am gonna try to find that video, but yeah, it's if you can walk, right, then start with 10 minutes, right? Start with 9 minutes, and then you work your way up every 3 minutes to include one segment. So be it, right? So interval walking. Hopefully I can find it here. Okay, here I found the video. Give me 1 second, I'll drop it in chat. And yeah, just check it out. And once again, it's another wonderful YouTube streamer that I enjoy. He loves to base everything on science, so at least some of this is backed by, as you say, in science. So that's his slogan. But definitely check it out. What is going on here? There you go. Hopefully that shows up in chat. I don't know. There you go. Okay, it's it'll happen. Once again, you've done it before. That is your foundation to build upon, as this is my second time doing this challenge, and that's my foundation. So once again, you say I'm working. I lost 18 pounds. I gained 10 pounds, but I am working on I'm building upon that 8 pounds I lost. Plus, I've been through the program again, right? So at least I know what to expect, right? So that helps in planning ahead, and you're not in the unknown, right? So even during this first 5 weeks, I've already kind of accelerated, and so far, I started last year at 224, and I got down to 197.8, and we still have a little bit more. And once again, this is the second week of the spring mode, so we'll be chipping away at it. But definitely, most important, we just do our very best. Once again, the most important diet is the one that you can stick to, and will complement your lifestyle, right? And keep you healthy and well nourished. All right, this has been a little bit longer, but thank you so much, Sigareki Designs. Very much appreciate your questions, and it's going to help a lot of people, right? It's going to help a lot of people who are, if you guys haven't seen, here's a couple of questions that's here, right? So we can do it, right? It's just that's why I always keep saying, in your environment is just as important as your mindset. And sometimes our mindset is kind of working on through willpower, right? Willpower is such a limited resource, but at the same time, having the an environment that supports what you're trying to do will help you stay on track even longer. Even like this for us, like for me in the 3D printing community, even though I'm not printing, I see the wonderful things that are my comrades are doing, like Sigareki Designs, Stephen Poole, Dragonfire, Jedi Spidey, State Line Customs, Hobby Means. If I'm missing anyone, shout outs to all of you, right? You guys, the stuff that you guys are creating keep me inspired and going, right? And that's the same thing here. You definitely need a group that understands um, what you're going through and just help keep you motivated. So that's why definitely invest in that environment, right? And once again, I'm just one of that. But if you guys find someone in your locale and you learn stuff here, you definitely share with them, and then once again you'll have that group that's gonna help you, and at the same time you guys hanging out with each other and hanging out in environments that supports that you know that health goal, right? Eating at the right places, or potlucks, preparing the proper foods that you don't have to think of. You know that these foods are nutrient dense for you and won't trigger certain things for you. So very important. But as always, once again, this is being streamed on 3 different platforms. As always, if you guys want to stay connected, feel free to scan my QR code or head over to coachryanj.com to stay get my social links. This is being streamed on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So feel free to like or thumbs up this video if it's been very helpful to you. Hit those follow or subscribe to stay updated. And once again, as always, hit those notification buttons to get notified when they go live. So as always, thank you all who's been hanging out with me tonight. Thanks to my wonderful community on Twitch. It's always been fun and wonderful, and you guys help me keep going on my journey and keep me accountable. And as always, just continue to raise your environment. Your environment is key in you being able to flourish, right? So that you can raise yourself, right? And be able to be that impact for your own environment, your friends, your family, your colleagues, your own community. Be that difference maker and inspire them and pay it forward so that they can pay it forward to their environment, their community. Take good care. I wish you all a wonderful long holidays. Happy President's Day to my US friends, and happy Family Day to my Canadians brothers and sisters here. Take good care, and I wish you all a wonderful rest of your evening.